Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's short video, I'd like to share what I personally do, and perhaps you can try it as well, when intrusive, negative thoughts, anxious thoughts suddenly pop up in your head and you are overwhelmed by these thoughts. As long as I could remember, maybe since high school days, I've been a worrier. I've been a very anxious person all my life. And at various points in my life, I've been diagnosed with OCD and generalized anxiety disorder. So I guess my imperfections would make me qualified to share what I personally do when confronted with these anxious moments, these thoughts. It's a technique which he's a German teacher and he's very much active in social media. It's a technique which Eckhart Tolle also mentions in some of his videos. So the way to think about it is that it's not you. It's not your entire being who thinks and conjures these negative thoughts, these anxious thoughts. He calls it the ego, the egoic mind. It's the ego which loves to conjure, usually without warning, these intrusive thoughts, these negative thoughts. It's not really you. Your personhood, your being is beyond the ego. It's above the ego. Your true self is beyond it. And therefore, the way to look about this is when an intrusive or a negative thought arises, the first step is to be aware of the thought. Okay, so for example, you're just minding your own business and then a negative thought about a failed relationship from many years ago suddenly pops up in your mind for no reason. The first step is to acknowledge, okay, right now I have this intrusive thought about my failed relationship 3 years ago, 2 years ago. But the second step after acknowledging that the thought is there is to not engage it. Just ignore it. Don't engage it. Don't dig deeper. Don't go further into the thought. Don't say, oh, what did I do wrong about that relationship? Does he or she still like me after all these years? Don't do that. Acknowledge that the thought is there, but don't engage it. And eventually, and I assure you it will, eventually, the thought will drift away. The thought will just disappear, just like that. Eckhart Tolle goes further to say that when an intrusive thought comes upon his mind, he steps back, of course metaphorically, he steps back and sort of observes, sort of looks at the egoic self and says, okay, that's not my thought. That's the intrusive thought my egoic mind, came up with, but it's not my thought. He sort of distances himself, becomes an observer of his egoic mind, metaphorically speaking, of course. And personally, my favorite analogy for this is that our mind is like a river. It's a flowing, constantly flowing river. And the thoughts are the ripples in the river. Oftentimes you can't control it. When a ripple will arise, when a wave will arise, a negative thought suddenly arises. It's a ripple. But your being, you're not in the river. You're just in the banks, you're just in the shore, you're just observing the river. And therefore, when a negative thought arises, just observe it. Acknowledge that it's there, because if you don't acknowledge the thought will continue to bug you. It will continue to pester you. So acknowledge it, okay? The river is my mind. There's a negative thought, which is a ripple in the river. And just observe it. Don't engage it. Don't go and dive into the river to make the ripple smaller, because when you do that, the ripple, the negative thought, if you jump into the water, will become conversely bigger. It will become bigger. It will become worse. So, stand back, stay in the shore, look at the river of your mind, acknowledge that there's a small ripple over there, a negative, an unwanted thought, and then just let it be. Just let it go. Observe but do not engage. Observe the negative thought just pass you by until the ripple is no more. A second thing which I personally do, which it was also recommended to me by one of my therapists before, it's called somatic shaking. Somatic shaking. So when a negative thought arises, aside from the previous river mind analogy we mentioned previously, what you can do is, when a negative thought suddenly arises, shake your whole body, as in literally shake it, like you're dancing, like you're in a trance. Shake it off. Literally, you're shaking the unwanted thought literally off yourself, of your mind. And most of the time it works. Most of the time it does. But personally, what I usually do is the river mind analogy. Acknowledge that the negative thought is there, but don't engage it. Okay, you're there. Eventually, it will go away. Thank you very much for listening to our short video today. This video, I think, is actually it's a natural sequence to the previous one we talked about gaining control, sovereignty over our minds back. It's a separate video. It's more abstract. This video right now is more practical. Thank you. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you again in our next Rant Fest. See you. Goodbye.